Hey, everybody, once again, welcome to Rotary's Career Talks. And I'm here with my friend, John Ackenhusen. John, welcome to Career Talks.
Thank you very much, Arnold.
Good, good. You know what is so much fun, John, is to find out all the kind of fascinating history that so many of our club members have had. And just being at our Rotary meetings, we don't always learn some of those career tracks, you might say. But as we've been exploring this with folks, it's great to explore these couple of questions, which include, if you think back to one of the most rewarding kind of career chapters for you, and it could be anything, it could be what you're doing now, it could be something from history, but as you think about that, what's been a real rewarding career chapter for you?
Well, Forrest, that's a really hard question because I've been very fortunate through my whole career to absolutely love everything I've done.
Oh,
Everything from carrying newspapers and delivering them when I was in junior high, up through working on advanced problems for the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, which is what I was doing when I retired.
oh my.
And the only job along those 35 or 40 years that I didn't like was the one I didn't get paid for, which was doing something with sod in a lawn care company. But other than that, and it's only because I didn't get paid, I found something to enjoy in every job.
Well,
But in thinking about it, I think one of the things you were asking is what has been a rewarding portion of your career.
sure.
And I worked a lot in aerospace and some things for defense and intelligence agencies that are sort of difficult to talk about. But one area sort of comes from the old movie, The Hunt for Red October.
Oh boy, sure.
If you remember that movie, it is devoted to submarines trying to find other submarines
Yes.
under the water. And what I was responsible for at Bell Laboratories was the system engineering of what was known as the Navy Standard Signal Processor.
Okay.
It was called EMSP, Enhanced Modular Signal Processor, or in Navy parlance, ANIUS 2. And it was to go, unlike other Navy computers to that time that only went into one or two ships, this was supposed to go in submarines, surface ships, helicopters, all sorts of different things. And so it was a big effort at Bell Labs. And I led the system engineering department, which is the department that worries about how all the other pieces come together.
Yes.
So it was very rewarding to do that. It ended up getting deployed. It ended up getting selected in a competition. As you know, the Navy and the government, as you know, often have multiple people getting up to a certain point and then choosing the design they like the best. Well, they chose ours, and it ended up going into many places. But it came out at about the time when Hunt for Red October was going on.
Okay.
And right. The ad that our marketing people used showed a big red square with white letters saying, see, we were very schedule driven and we needed to be done by April of some year or other. And it says, the Hunt for Red October will end in April.
Oh boy.
We were going to be a little early. So anyway,
that's kind of fun.
That was a very rewarding thing because you had to know a little bit about a lot of things, and in particularly how they fit together. But you weren't an expert in any of them, not in the electronics, not in the thermal design, not in the software program. You just knew a little bit about each of those and brought it all together.
What do you know? Well, it's about wrangling a bunch of different skill sets that not only you have, but the skills and the work styles of all these different system elements. I mean, not to say I have insight into that, but when I was in aerospace, we were selling miniaturized electronics power supplies that were airborne, shipboard, downhole, and in oil exploration. But boy, everybody's deal and way of operating was different. And of course, you're integrating a lot of animals, but also cutting edge technology, I'll bet. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. One of the analogies was it's like throwing a plate of spaghetti at the wall. Some of it sticks and some falls down. And then you have to fill in the parts that didn't make it down, because the system engineer has to fill in the gaps among the clear, hardcore disciplines like mechanical design and electrical design and thermal design and software design.
Oh boy. Well, see, there's a lot to it. And I was at the football game, North Kitsap High School, and a young fella came in dressed in Navy fatigues, and I saw he was with the Jimmy Carter, which our listeners might know is one of the submarines that are deployed right around here. I said, so, hey, you know, I was on a destroyer back in Vietnam, a little different time. So what's your guys' mission? And he says, well, we go out to sea and do some things and we come back. That's it. It was great. And of course, you know, this is touchy stuff. And hopefully we never have to use the real special stuff that we have. But how great that you worked on that. What, if you were to say what the takeaway, you've sort of touched on it, John, but if you were to say the takeaway for you as a guy, what are some of the things that you learned and took away from that whole experience?
Well, probably one of the most important things is how to learn something quickly. And that means sometimes if you learn it quickly, you learn it in what some might call a surface sense, but another person might call, well, you learn what's important quickly. And a system engineer is not a specialist in any of the areas, but knows something about all of them and brings them together. So one of the things I got out of it was developing the skills to do that. One of the things I found is that because I was looking over such a broad area of things, I'd have to go back and re-research something about thermal transfer or life cycle costs. So I ended up saying, I need to put those together into a big file. Well, I ended up taking the file a little further and ended up writing a book that became a textbook from Prentice Hall called Real-Time Signal Processing.
Oh, wow.
It ended up being because I didn't want to keep having to look things up in files and files. I wanted it all in one place. Then it wasn't that hard to take it up to a textbook.
Oh boy. Well, what do you know? And in terms of this kind of a career path, and maybe you've heard me ask the question of some of our other club members, if you were to give some advice to somebody, either in a career change way or some young person looking forward to a life in a service of this kind and in that kind of career, what advice would you have?
I would imagine it's really important to try to figure out what is important. Figure out not so much how to do the thing right as much as how to do the right thing. If you're trying to learn something quickly, there are some areas that you can just take on faith that's been proven or looked at by others. You don't have to question it, but you always need to know, why is this important? Even if you're in a college lecture and the professor is telling you something or other, suspend your disbelief for a moment and say, all right, suppose I know how to do this proof and I'm great at it. How will it help me? What will it do for me? Yeah. Sometimes it won't do anything beyond giving you the satisfaction of understanding something naughty, but sometimes it will really teach you, well, if I know how to do this, then I can do this other thing. So remembering what's important and how it'll extend beyond the moment that you're trying to learn it, to me was very important.
Well, super. And those kind of interior skills, they also call for a sense of balance or confidence that you will learn and you will go ahead, or you can get support if you need it. All those are good lessons as takeaways, I think, to the whole thing. Yeah, what a deal. Well, that's quite unique. And I wonder if other club members know about your career work in this way, but they see you up front being a jolly chap and offering a musical accompaniment to everything. And I think that's a great career skill that you also have, I must say.
Thank you.
It's a big kick. Well, good. Thank you so much for being with us on this. And we certainly want to encourage all our club members to share some of the career track that they've been on as we share some of this work with our extended community and encourage other clubs to do the same. So mighty good. Hey, folks.
Thank you. Thank you, Forrest.
Oh, you bet. This has been John and Forrest with Poulsbo Rotary here on Career Talks. Thanks, everybody.